Hello, good morning viewers. In the previous class we have studied about the objectives of materials management, functions of materials management, selective inventory control techniques like ABC analysis, EOQ, reorder level, etc. In today's class we will study about the other part of material management. Before that, I want to give you viewers that you can ask after half an hour, that is after 11:30, any questions can be asked. There is interactive session and you can ask your questions after 11:30. Now today we will discuss about the stores layout and stores equipment, material handling equipment and purchasing. Now coming to the stores layout, what is stores layout? Stores layout is nothing but it is laying of different items, machinery, etc. in different positions so as for the smooth flow of the material as well as the production. Now let us see what is stores layout. Here stores layout refers arrangement of materials and equipment in a scientific manner so that space is economically utilized and movement of men and material is made easy. So here what is the thing is arrangement of materials. How we are going to arrange? According to the usage, how much frequency that we are going to use, those items should be kept nearer to the hand or nearer in the stores, and which are movable very less frequency, they are being put at a somewhat distance, more distance, and scientific manner so that space is economically utilized. So space is economically utilized means we have to use here cubic space utilization. So not only in horizontal direction, we can also go in a vertical direction, and movement of men and material is made easy. That means the material movement and man movement which should be less, and as well as it should have the easiness, no complications and no bottleneck should be there. Now let us see what are the factors to be considered while going for a plant layout. So which are to be considered? First one is a straight line flow of men and materials. As you know, the straight line means which will take very less distance. That means whenever we are going to put a particular material, moving a material in straight line means it will have to follow less distance, the movement is less, so the time is also less, the cost of the production will also become less. Second one is efficient space utilization horizontally and vertically. So not only horizontal, we can go for utilizing them in vertical spaces. For example, in our classroom if you see, we will have 20 tables, but if we use it as a storeroom for tables, vertically if we go 3 or 4 layers, we may accommodate 60 to 80 tables. That is how we have to go for vertical utilization of the space. The next point is minimum handling and transportation of materials. The handling transportation of material should be minimum. That means when we are going to locate particular material at particular place in a store, it should be nearer to that end use in either a machine section or whatever it might be, so that the material handling time will be reduced. Next, flexibility of future expansion. So whenever we go for layout of a stores, we should see that 20 to 25% of extra space should be provided in the stores for further expansion. Next is proper illumination and ventilation. So some parts, some materials may require these things, and free airflow should be good and ventilation should be there, otherwise some materials might be damaged. So that is why we have to see that good ventilation should be there and airflow should be there. Now let us see a particular layout in an industry, in a large scale industry, where we will go for how the layout will be there. generally the stores will be nearer to the transport point, that is railway line or road line, etc. in our industry. So it should be kept nearer to the transport facility, whether it is road or railway. Now this is the main gate of the stores. Material enters here, and here there are provisions for different spaces. For example, this is a fuel storage. Because they are inflammable materials, they should be kept somewhat distance to other materials, so that in case of accidents it will not have any effect. Again, heavy structures. So heavy structures are there, they cannot be accommodated inside, or they may be having larger distances, as well as it may take more place, then they will be placed in some other place. And now coming to the other thing, this is open yards. So which can be put the material in open yards without closing these things and having huge things. Next is some space, as I told, space for future expansion. As I told, 20 to 25% we have to keep this. And next we will come to the here. This is costly heavy materials like steel materials, machines, etc. Whatever the in some of the cases standby machines may be there. The spare machines may be there, etc. We will keep these things. Next, this is called main aisle. So here this is a way, and through this material comes here, and now it comes to through here to the stacks. So here we are having single way racks and shelves, as well as other side we are also having double way steel racks and shelves. Here we can store the materials, and here coming to here, this is a material handling equipment. Whatever the material handling is there to lift the material from the stores to stores gate, or from the transport point to the different places of like open yard, etc. We need material handling equipment that will be placed here. Whenever we have to use, we have to take these things. And coming to here is a fire extinguisher. Generally there may be, in any case of accidents may happen, in that case we have to stop the flames, etc. In that case we require these fire extinguishers, so that will be placed here. And he is the storekeeper who is a key of the stores, will sit here and look all the things in his control. And this is how the typical layout for a particular medium scale or large scale industry will have it. Whereas another thing, we can go for the same layout. Another one example you can see here, that is, this is the gate, the material enters. So whenever we purchase a material, it comes here, then the materials coming from certain suppliers, and first they will be dumped. That is, this is a dumping of raw materials. This is the space provided for dumping of raw material, and then they will be sorting and checking. So what are the different types of materials may have came. In that case we have to check it, what type of materials are there. Different types of materials are put in places here, sorting by sorting, and then we have to check it whether they are same components or not. Then we will go to the inspection. The inspection people will see according to the purchasing order these specifications whether the material are within the specifications or not. If they are okay, they will be accepted. If it is rejected, they will be sent back to the consignee, that is vendor. And next, after the inspection, it comes to the temporary storing. So after inspection we will keep it here. Then from here it goes to the different materials, that is, whatever the different materials are there, they will go to the its actual places, like here racks and shelves. So different material will plate in different racks and different shelves, and in here we will keep those things in these racks and shelves. Here what is happening is, when a particular a person comes for taking the material for his department, say for example production person will come to take the material to the production department, we will keep the window here so that he will not enter into the stores. From outside he will take, and here there is a person who issues the material, might be storekeeper or some assistant, and now whenever a particular person wants material, he will give the material requisition order. According to that, the person will take the materials from the different racks of different materials, and they will be kept in these boxes, 2 boxes here. Then here there are the counters. In these counters also we will put the issues to be given to the different persons. This is how the layout of a storeroom we have to keep in this way, so that the maximum utilization of stores and no other unauthorized people will come, so that we can save the materials, etc. Now if we see, there is a how to go for a good layout. By seeing this 2 layouts, poor layout and a good layout, we can find out the difference. Now here this is the poor layout of a stores, whereas this is a good layout of a stores. Now here we see, in poor layout we are having, this is main aisle, that is the way, main way, and sub aisles. Here these are the racks and shelves, different ways. But here if we see this, here it is systematically ordered. Ways are here, and we can go for in 2 sides, we can use it, so that this is a good layout. So from this you can identify the difference between good layout and poor layout, which affects the production cost. So now this is about the layout of the stores. Now we will go for the material stores equipment. So what are the stores equipment? So before going to the stores equipment, we should see that what are the requirements before taking particular equipment. What is that we have to see? So before selecting an equipment, we have to see the following things. Let us see here. The first character we have to see is ease of handling. So whatever the equipment that we are going to take, it should have a handling easily. Say for example, we are traveling, we will take a suitcase, briefcase. Instead of that, some may take bag. So it has to be handled carefully. It depends upon the mode of travel. Both can be utilized, but which is helpful, that should be taken. Next is the suitability. That equipment, material handling equipment, should be suitable to our materials. Whatever the material that we are going to use, that should have the suitability. Next is preservationability. When we put the materials in the stores equipment, whatever the equipment we have put, it should not, preservationability should be there. It should not be loss or some damage, etc. should not be there. Next is strength and security. So whatever the materials we put, say for example we take tools are there, costly tools are there, they will be put in the racks with the lock and key arrangements. In that case we will have a security. Then tidy storage. So the storage equipment is good, but it takes a lot of space. That is, more space it takes, so that our cost will be increased. So that what we know is, what we see is, the equipment should take less place. Next is flexibility. So if we purchase a particular material, particular equipment, it can be used for at least 2 or 3 items or more, but not only 1 item, because in case of change of any material, it may not be useful further. So that's why it should be used for different types of the materials. Now let us see different types of material stores equipment. That is, in the stores equipment, what are the things that we will go here. First one is the material handling equipment file racks. So we will put the files here, whatever the purchasing orders are there, issue, requisition, etc. Number of stores records will be there, they will be put, and small items will be put in bins and they are closed, and still small items are in pigeonhole cabinets we can keep. Like that we are having some other different things here for effective handling of the material. Now we can see this material handling also comes in the stores equipment. Here if you see here, there are different types of material handling equipments. First, so when we go for material handling equipment, we have to see there are three movements. One is horizontal movement, second one is vertical movement, third one is a combination of horizontal and vertical with inclination also it will be there. So here we are having different types of machines, the material handling equipments, which will go for, some machines are useful for horizontal movements, and some are vertical movements, and some are a combination of horizontal and vertical. Here if you see here, this is the pallet racks, both are pallet racks of different types, different capacities, and this is a scissor platform. And coming to here, these are the platform trucks. The material will be made put on the platform and they will be moved. Next is another platform truck with different types, different size. Then stackers, here the material will be put and it will be lifted, and again it places in some other place, that is vertical movement as well as a horizontal movement. And next is, this is a hydraulic crane which will take in all the directions, even radial directions also it will take. And all these equipments are either might be manual or might be hydraulic or pneumatic or mechanical, different types are there. Now coming to other material handling equipments, we will see some other figures, because the material handling equipments gives 50 to 60% of production cost. That's why we have to select a good machine material handling equipment. Another thing we can see here is a hand trolley. On this we can move the material from either, so these material handling equipments will be used from the stores gate to the, again the finished product leaves to the stores gate. Meanwhile whatever the movements are there, all these the movements will be made by this stores material handling equipment. In this hand trolley we will put the materials here, whereas here there is no covering, but here there is a hand operated platform truck, platform is there, and some closing is also there in case if any some of the goods may not be stiff etc., then we can accommodate it. Again in the same way we are having the skids. These skids are there may be small items or number of items may be there, that number of items we cannot go for at a time. In that case what we will go for is, these items are put in the skids like this, number of items, and forklift truck will come and it will lift the skids and it will move to the some other place. And here you can see there are some other some number of types of skids which can be movable and which can be lifted etc. And like this number of items at a time we can remove with the this. Next again we can come to the trucks. When we come to the trucks, two-wheel trucks, four-wheel trucks, and forklift trucks. So here what it will happen is, in the first two cases we will get only horizontal movement, whereas here you can also go for vertical movement, that is both horizontal and vertical movements can be made in this particular material handling equipment. As I already told, it have a very good impact on the production cost. We have to select a good this thing. Another thing are platform truck and fork trucks. Again these things, here the material will be put and it can be lifted, that is vertically some height, and then it can be moved to place where it should be kept. In the same way here it is a fork truck is there, this fork is there, this goes into the skid and the skid will be lifted through this fork. In that way this fork truck will be useful for us. These are the different types of material handling equipments when we go for only 2 or 3 types. Now if you see here, there are some other things which can go or move in radial directions also. So in the radial direction, that is jeep crane, here it goes for only horizontal direction, whatever its length is there, up to that length it can take. Here next is pillar crane is there. Here it can take any direction, that is radial also it will take, and here it is a crane truck, it is a movable, whereas jeep crane is fixed one. This crane truck is a movable and it can be taken to any place, that is horizontal movement can also be taken in this particular case. Now let us go for, these are the different types of material handling equipment which we have to take and use from the issue of receiving the materials to again finished products going to the shipment. Whatever the equipment that we are going to use, all those things should come under material handling equipment, which requires three movements and vertical, horizontal and combination. And while selecting, there are lot of things we have to consider in material handling, but again they are same coinciding with the material equipment. So this material handling equipment will also come under materials stores equipment as well as a material handling equipment. Now the next session that we will go for stores. In the stores we said there are lot of materials are being stored. So what material are there, where they are, how much they have to purchase according to EOQ or ROL or that is reorder level, economic order quantity, etc. Everything should be kept in the stores. So to see that and for easy identification, etc., we have to put or we have to maintain certain records in the stores. So let us see now how the how many types of the records are there. There are bin card. The details of the material will be written on the bin, and at any time we can see what is the remaining material. Stores ledger, the accounts of the material will be written here. Receipt of material, so the storekeeper has to take the material from the supplier. In that case some receipt will be there, that receipt of material must be submitted by the storekeeper so that a further process can be done, like payment, etc., inspection, like that. Next is inspection of materials, what are the material has received, whether they were inspected or not, according to the specification they were or not. Next, issue of materials, the material should be issued to the different departments from the stores. He cannot give simply without any procedures. So for that some issue of materials form will be there, that should be submitted to the storekeeper, then it will be given. So what is its form, that we will see later. Verification of stores, at any time that we can go for verification, that is two types are there, perpetual verification and annual verification, whether they are according to the specifications or according to the stock written in the bin card or ledgers, whether they are available or not. Codex system, instead of seeing all these things in above 5-6, in Codex system all the matters we will find in a one particular card, that is called Codex system. In this we can find out every item its things while sitting at some place without seeing the materials. Now we will see these bin cards, how the bin cards will be there. Now here this is the format of bin card. Here bin number, see in a material we have seen racks and shelves, layout of this. Here this racks and shelves will be in form of bins, that is like holes. In different bins we will put different materials. So whatever the bin number that we have to give it, if we are having 100 bins, we can give number from 1 to 100, or if 5 in 20, 5 rows, each row 20, then we can give A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, like that, that codification numbers will be given. According to that number here we will give the bin number. Then material, say for example this is a rivets, I have taken here rivets, so material is rivets. Next, code number, in every industry the stores people, assistants are there, boys are there, they cannot identify the materials by name. In that case each and thousands of items will be there in large scale industries. All the items names may not be able to understand them. So in that case what they will give is identification of the materials. Some code they will give, that according to that code they will identify, but they cannot able to identify that product by name, only by the number they will identify. In that case we will give that code number of that particular item. Next is a stores ledger folio. In the stores ledger, where this, in which sheet, in which page number this was entered, that page number will be given. Next, coming to the selective controls, we have studied maximum quantity, how much maximum quantity we can maintain in that particular bin, that is the material how much can be maximum stored by EOQ method, and ordering level, by what time you have to order it. Say for example, I will take here 45. Next, minimum quantity, how much minimum quantity should be there. Say for example, here maximum quantity is 100, ordering level is 40, and minimum quantity is 20. Now here how the regular transaction day every day it will be posted. Date 19 December, received 100, issued 20, so balance will be 8. In the remarks, to whom it was given? It was given to Smithy. 20 kgs of rivets were given to Smithy section. Like that. Next, 2312, not received anything, but quantity was issued 15. So here balance is 65. To which section? For the fitting section. Like that, we will go on number of transactions. When we will get the minimum order of 20, then immediately we will go for giving the reorder level. Again it should go to the maximum. So here we have given ordering level. When that ordering level, as I told you, 40, and here this 40 comes to the balance, immediately we have to go for giving the orders. So this is how the bin card will be there. This will be made in duplicate. One is hanged to the bin directly where the material was kept, and the second one is with the storekeeper nearby his or in his table, so that without going to the bin he can identify what is the stock of the material. And this bin card is useful because we are for each material we will maintain different types of bins, different cards, not for 2 materials, 3 materials, 1 card. Next record is stores ledger account. In this, what is that we are going to do is how the material has come, how much received, how much ordered, how much received, how much issued, what are the balances. Now if you see here again the same thing, bin number. In the previous case we have taken bin, so that bin number will be here, material, say rivets, stores ledger folio, whatever the number we have given that will give here, maximum quantity that is 100, minimum quantity 20, code number also we have given in the bin, same. Only thing is here we are having ordered quantity. Here this ordered quantity is from the purchase order. So the purchasing department will give the order to purchase so and so things, that will be sent to the stores. So whatever the order, say for example they are given ordered for 80 items. So that 80 items will come. On which date it was given order? Its order number, quantity 80, unit cost, say for each rivet 1 kg is costing 50 rupees, so that 50 cost 50 rupees, total cost 80 into 50, that is a 4000 rupees. Next received. So next day, later date we have received it, then we will go for here. On 23/12 we have received it, ordered nil, received we will get the received we will get here what are the received things, say 80. Then issued, we have issued to some other department, to which department we have given, and what are the balances. So like that we have to take here. So issued is by the storekeeper, receiving whatever the department is required that material, ordered by the purchase department, whatever the. So here you can have all the items, how much ordered, how much received, how much issued, and what are the balances. Now you can ask if any questions.
Hello? Hello sir? Can you give me what are the measures of quality control in stores, sir?
Quality control?
Yes sir. In stores.
In stores. Quality control means it is the function of quality department. stores will not have it, the quality department will have it, and what are the materials that we are going to store in the stores and what are its specifications. According to that, quality control will be taken. For example, let us take a pipe. I have taken a pipe for manufacturing of a stores table. In that case, there are three types of pipes are there. Three types of pipes are there. One is commercial, A grade, B grade, C grade, like that qualities are there. In that case, they will see it. And again, seamless pipes are there and seamed pipes are there. Whether we have asked for seamed pipes or seamless pipes, and diameters of the pipe and thickness of the pipes, like that we have to see. They are called that comes under quality control. Here directly in the stores, the quality control will not come. Okay. Next we will go for the another source record, that is material received report. So the purchase order was given and the supplier gives the material, then whether that material has come or not. So because the purchase department gives the material purchase order, the stores department takes the material. Now these two contact is not there. So when the material received by the stores or some other department, they have to give a received report. Let us see here. Now whatever the department has received, that will give us material received report. Received at stores, delivery point, that is a next is from which, who is the supplier, XYZ company, and its address Bombay. Now here purchase order in this 15/02, this year this is the 15th purchase order, date 19/12/2. Now what are the things that we are going to do? Quantity received 100. Description. So what is that we received? Pipes of so and so diameter of so and so grade, A grade. Next, condition of goods, good. So here it is not the quality, condition of the goods, whether they are good in condition or not, but not the composition or whatever it may. Then counted. Who has counted that received 100? His signature. Inspected. Some other person will inspect, his signature. Then approved by. That may by either by storekeeper or some other persons. And here this will be a received department gives it, and it sends to the purchasing department as well as the accounts department for further procedures, that is to give the amount of the supplying materials, etc. it will be sent. Next, after material received, it should be inspected whether that materials are within the specifications or not. For that we have to give the clearance report by the inspection department. So let us see now how this inspection report will be. Now this is a clearance report or rejection note, whether it is a cleared or rejected. The material is in the order whatever according to the purchase order specifications we have taken. If it is there, then clearance will be given. If it was rejected, then it will be sent to the directly to the consignee, whether part of the material or whole material may be rejected. Now here you can see the inspection report number, according to their numbers they will give it, date on which date they have inspected, then order number, that is purchase order number. Next, material, that is pipes, supplier XYZ company Bombay. The above mentioned materials have been, if it is passed, rejected will be struck off, and if it is rejected, passed will be struck off through inspection. Now details of examination. So what the details of examination they have done? That is a grade, A quality, B quality or commercial quality. Next one, diameter, whether diameter is according to it or not. Seam, whether it is joint pipe or that is seamed pipe or seamless pipe, that comes here. In case of reasons of rejection, so diameter is not correct or not coinciding according to the purchasing order. Instead of A grade you may given B grade, supplied B grade, or the instead of seamless pipe we might have given seamed pipe. In that case we have to reject it. Then if it is good, it is received by the storekeeper and he will give the signature and he takes the material. If it was not accepted, if they were rejected, they will be sent to directly to the consignor for whole cancellation of the thing or part cancellation according to the quality they accepted or rejected. Now, after inspection, the materials are in good condition. Now we will go for keeping it in stores, but keeping the stores in idle is not good. So we have to give it to the materials. So the material, the departments who require that material, they will take the materials. So when they want to take the materials, when they come and ask, it will not be given. Certain procedures they have to follow. For that we have to go for giving the material requisition form, like indent. We will call it as some people call it as a indent. Now this material requisition form is there here. That form can be seen here. Which type of or which department needs it, that way they will see it here. Material required for whether it is production department or sales department or some other department, which department it needs, that will be written. Material required for production, whether it is job or process, it may be manufacturing purpose or say for example I want to take an oil, this is for only servicing or maintenance of the machine, that we have to give it here. What is the number of that particular department it gives. Next, department, production department, so for maintaining the machines. Now serial number 1, description, SAE 40 oil, code number, that will have certain quantity, demanded 10 liters we have demanded that particular production department, but here the same oil will be used for some other departments also, then it has to be distributed and all the 10 liters will not be used at a time, so that in case of not there sufficient, then he may give 5 or 6 or 7 or even if it is available 10. Then rate, what is the rate of it, oil, total amount, and it is entered on stores register, page number. So how much liters of the oil you have given, that should be entered in the stores register. So so and so liters of oil was given to so and so department according to the number here. So that number will be written on the stores ledger and stores ledger page number will be written here. Then here the signatures will be there, requested by production department, approved by either stores officer or production manager, etc. Material issued by storekeeper, received by the concerned person from the production department. Like this we have to go for different types of things. Now the next record is physical verification of the stores. So as I earlier told, the physical verification can be done either at the time of annual or perpetual, but what is the thing that we require while going for, what is the need of physical verification? That is, we have seen bin cards, we have seen material requisition, etc., stores ledger, but whether they are according to the things or not, that we have to see here to ensure correctness of stocks with the stores ledger. So whatever the balance in the stores ledger is there, whether they are the same number of material are there in the stores or not should be known. That can be physically verified. Then to avoid shortage of material in the stock, while physical verification, so that in some of the cases while maintaining the records we may go for that it may not be same, it may in some of the cases it may be due to mistakes or some other things, the material may not be same, it may not coincide. In that case we may get shortage of material or excess material may be there, which directly affects the cost of the production as well as selling cost, etc. So by physical verification we can check whether it is correct or not. Next one is to check the losses due to pilferage, improper storage and misplacement, deterioration, etc. While verifying we see any pilferage is there, any loss of material is there, improper storage. Because of not proper storage, what happens is that particular material may be damaged or that material may be lost, misplacement, where you will have kept that the storekeeper may not know it, so that he will say that the materials are not available, immediately purchase order will be given and the material are available, but again we are going to purchase it, that is extra material that we are going to purchase. Next, deterioration, some materials will deteriorate, in that case that also to be verified, from how much time they are going to be idle and can we reduce the items while purchasing in the next time, that will be helpful by physical verification. Next is to correct and update records. Already we are having so many records, in that we have seeing what are the balances, but whether they are correct or not can be corrected here by physical verification. Next is to calculate the values of stock. So annually what is the stock, what is the value of stock, it has been covered, that we have to calculate. Total this so and so amount is lying in this particular stores. Next, to calculate the rate of turnover of an item. Say for example, how many pipes are there in a year, how much cost of pipes we have consumed, how much cost of rivets we have consumed, like that each amount. For example, in selective controls we have to go for ABC analysis, for that purpose it will be helpful. Next, to ensure maximum economy in stock carrying. So stock carrying economy should be maintained, for that this verification will be useful. Next, the effect insurance covers. So coverage of insurance, in that way it will be helpful. That is why we have to physically verify the materials. Another important thing is Codex system. Here what has happened is, in the previous case that we have seen in one machine, in one farm, where the materials, where how much stock is there, etc. we have seen. In the Codex system we need not go to anywhere, and there is a one equipment, like in libraries we have seen different authors, A to Z authors will be given, where its position and what the books are available. In the same way here also in the Codex system, for each material one card will be there. On that card it gives up to date information, that is maximum and minimum stock of the material. Say for example this pipes, how much maximum stock and minimum stock, location, on which stack or on which rack it is there. Next, reorder level, at what point we have to give the reorder level, and economic order quantity, what is the economic order quantity will be written there, and verification details, what to be verified, whether quantity, quality or some other parameters, details of receipts, when the material has received and when the material has been issued to whom, everything will be given in the Codex system. That means instead of going for all those things, like here with the Codex system we can go for this particular Codex system. It will be helpful, whatever the items available and all the details in this Codex system. So far we have studied about today's session, what are the layout, its impact on the stores and on the production cost, the material handling equipment, stores equipment and stores records, and how to maintain them, and by maintaining what is its use, etc. that we have find out. So these are about today's session. Thank you.